Our beliefs shape our reality more than we realize. They act as a mirror, reflecting back to us what we believe to be true. But if you think that you are in the driving seat when it comes to your thoughts and decisions, the following experiment might give you pause for thought. In 2007, psychologist Ellen Langer from Harvard conducted a study exploring the influence of thoughts, using hotel maids as her study participants. Despite their daily engagement in physical tasks, such as operating vacuum cleaners, climbing stairs, bending, and stretching, a significant 67% of these women did not view their activities as exercise. Langer split the group into two and told half of the maids that their daily tasks aligned with the US Surgeon General's definition of an active lifestyle. The other group was not provided with this information. Over the following month, both groups continued their jobs as usual. Both before and after the experiment, Langer's research team collected physical health data for the maids. Initially, the findings correlated with the maids' perception of limited exercise. However, when re-evaluated after a month, the group that was told that their work activities constituted exercise exhibited a decrease in weight and waist-to-hip ratio and a noticeable 10% drop in blood pressure. Remarkably, none of the maids had made any changes to their routines during this time frame. The primary difference was the beliefs that they held. When an individual believes something, their body reacts in a manner consistent with that belief. So you can see that our beliefs influence our thoughts, our actions, our bodies, and ultimately our lives. Beliefs are influenced by our early environment, society, culture, and experiences, amongst other things. A belief becomes embedded when we assign meaning to an event or experience, particularly if there is a strong emotion attached to that experience. To illustrate this, I'd like to share a story about my friend Joe, who had an irrational fear of crickets. This reaction was embarrassing for him, and he got sick of being teased by people. Over the years, he had received numerous cricket-related gifts as a joke, and this really bugged him, if you'll pardon the pun. He was in his 30s at the time, and he wanted to be rid of this ridiculous aversion. So on the advice of his girlfriend, he went to see a hypnotherapist. While under hypnosis, Joe regressed to a time when he was around 2 or 3 years of age, and he recalled an event that showed him the genesis of his phobia. He had been playing in the garden one afternoon, while his mother entertained her friends in the living room. Joe found an intriguing-looking insect, which he later discovered was a cricket, and he was absolutely fascinated by this exotic creature. He carefully picked it up and took it into the living room to share his exciting find with his mother. When he opened his hand to show it to his mother, the cricket leaped into the air. To his astonishment, all the women screamed and recoiled from Joe's innocent offering. Cups, saucers, and plates of cakes went flying. His mother reacted in a dramatic way that had a huge impact on his little psyche. She grabbed a broom and beat the insect to a pulp before wrapping it in a paper napkin and putting it in the kitchen bin. Joe's strong emotional reaction to this scene and the reaction of the adults formed meaning in his toddler's mind. Crickets are bad, repugnant, dangerous, and scary. The strong emotions were a powerful indicator to his subconscious mind that this was an important lesson of safety in the world, and thus created a belief. The good news is that his therapist was able to heal him of his phobia under hypnosis by taking him through a new scenario with a new script, where everyone admired his fugly cricket, and he gently placed it back in the garden. No animals were harmed in the making of Joe's movie, I promise you. This story about crickets shows you how ephemeral and erroneous beliefs can be. They're just thoughts that become stuck in your brain through a dramatic experience, or repetition, or they're simply ambient in the culture around you, and you adopt them through a type of osmosis. The crazy thing is, a lot of your beliefs were installed before you were the age of 7, which means that your reactions and thoughts were those of a small child. Your brain wasn't even fully formed yet, so you had nothing to measure your responses against, and you relied on the grown-ups around you to help you to make sense of the world and your place in it. Unless and until we make a conscious decision to discover our patterns and change them, we remain the unknowing victims of other people's projected beliefs. So that means that if thoughts become things, and if we want to transform our lives, we have to first understand what our beliefs are and whether they serve us or not. In order to do this, we're going to do an exercise to identify what your general beliefs are. Here are 4 questions to ask yourself. The first question is, what do I believe about myself? Don't think too deeply about it. Jot down adjectives that spring to mind. Start your sentence with, I believe I am, and continue from there. The next question is, what do I believe about other people? Do exactly the same for this question. Begin with, I believe other people are, and fill in the gaps. The third question to ask yourself is, what do I believe about the world? Again, don't overthink, scribble it down. And finally, what do I believe about the future? Write down whatever comes to your mind, don't judge it. When you've finished capturing these beliefs, I'd like you to sort them into two sections: positive beliefs and negative beliefs. This is all subjective, so don't worry too much about how you do it. There is no right or wrong way of doing this. It's personal to you, and what you believe is either positive or negative. Exploring these 4 questions won't give you the complete lowdown on all your beliefs. We humans are way too intricate for that. But these questions are a doorway to self-discovery, a journey into the nooks and crannies of your mind. So, what's the purpose of this exercise? Well, think of it as a kickstart for self-awareness. It's like shining a flashlight into your mental attic, letting you peek at some of the treasures, and perhaps some cobwebs, you've stored in your mind. These questions zoom in on the big players, the beliefs that shape how you see yourself, others, the world, and what's down the road. Don't be surprised if a light bulb goes off while you're at it. Sometimes connecting the dots between your beliefs and your life can lead to those aha moments. You might spot those recurring ideas or attitudes you've been hauling around without realizing. Plus, knowing what makes your mental gears tick can help you set goals, shift gears, and even improve the way you communicate. So while this exercise won't bring out all your beliefs, think of it as a compass for navigating your inner landscape, steering you toward a deeper understanding of yourself. That's it for today. You now understand the power that lies behind the mirror principle, how beliefs are formed, and that beliefs can be changed. In step 3, we're going to dig deeper into your beliefs and identify what your limiting beliefs are. So keep your journal or a pen and paper handy as we take our next step towards reprogramming your mind. See you in the next video.